Well, there's an essay that was written by an African American man who said he joined this chapter 14 years ago. At that point, he said he was only the second black member ever at the chapter, and he says that since then there has not been a third. So in the entire history of this chapter, according to him, there's only been two African American members of the SAA fraternity. And I guess I'm wondering, what sort of oversight at all do you have of your fraternities? Because as a national organization, I would think if you looked and said, well, gee, in the past 14 years, there hasn't been one black person at this fraternity. That's kind of odd.
It may seem odd for, obviously for this particular case and to say, well, this is somehow indicative of all the chapters across the country, but that's not true. There are chapters in the country right now, even though there's not a statistic behind it, that we know from interacting with and with training and other events that there's chapters where there are white students who are the minority, and then there are other chapters where there are other minorities or other groups that are represented. There are chapters where a lot of people come from homes that English isn't spoken as a primary or first language. So it does depend on what campus you're at. Overall,
right,
nationally,
I'm just wondering, as an organization, was there never a time when somebody from the national organization visited this chapter or looked at the roles of this chapter, and in the last 14 years never said, there's no black people here, and there's only been two black people in the entire history of this thing? I mean, what kind of oversight do you actually have?
Absolutely, and the thing is that the oversight of the national office is that we work with the chapters, we do visit the chapters, but chapters are autonomous. In other words, we do not mandate who they can and can't take for membership. There are regulations on the type of person, the type of individual they should extend an invitation to join to. But again, in terms of saying that this is a problem, it is not something that, again, that the national organization has stepped in to say that we need to monitor this more closely, only in the sense of like, there are certain things that we want and there's certain representation that the organization has.
So now are you thinking maybe that should be something you would say to local chapters, that, you know what, it'd be probably a good idea to have a diverse student body as part of this fraternity? I mean, it reflects the values that we care about. Is that something you're thinking about doing now?
Anderson, yes. The leadership is dedicated to making sure this. The response from the national organization, our leadership, isn't just about saying we've closed a chapter, the members are suspended and facing expulsion soon. It's about that we can't control what's happened in the past. It's in the past. What we can do is focus on the current situation, where we are right now as an organization, and then what we need to do to change this to make it better, to learn from things, and to make sure our members understand this is the type of thing that we stand for as a fraternity, because it's the right thing to do and because we need to move forward from this situation. It's wrong to vilify Sigma Alpha Epsilon across the country based on a chapter or a couple of chapters or other individual incidents that have happened. Even if they're over a 10 or 20 year span, still it's a large national organization.